Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our video today of Rahu's transit over other planets. Just like Ketu is going to be going over certain planets, but the thing is, it'll become a long video, so I will cover Ketu in different videos. So, as you know, Rahu, most definitely, I can say pretty much by guarantee, that somebody in the world will have Rahu going either over their sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, Rahu, or Ketu itself. Okay. So one thing you have to know, I'm not going to be discussing everything that Rahu does when it goes over a planet. Okay. And then the other thing is that um, one of the most important things, especially when you're looking at mundane, transits of these planets, is to look at Sarvabhadra Chakra that I've actually discussed, like I think 2 or 3 videos. But the thing is, if I use that here, then it becomes even a longer video. So as you know, Rahu in October is going to be transiting into the sign of Pisces. And with my first part of this video that I showed you, that Rahu is going from the head to the feet of Vishnu. Because Pisces is the 12th house where Venus is exalted. Okay, so it's going where Venus is exalted and Venus is Lakshmi. Lakshmi is always at the feet of Vishnu. So if Rahu goes in Pisces, and let's say you have your sun. So first thing to understand is that Rahu, what is Rahu? Rahu is vastness. Something which is vast. When you see the ocean line at the beach, it's endless on both corners. That's vastness. That's Rahu. Rahu is foreign. Okay. Rahu is something unorthodox, something foreign, far away, something that you have never seen. This is why aliens are also connected with Rahu and 12th house. And probably when Rahu enters in Pisces, there could be some major news related to aliens, even though this is happening now. The thing is, we are so sedated from all these UFO shows and stories and movies that even if it was found that, okay, there are aliens, they're helping us, which I pretty much think is probably the beings that are here underneath the earth. Okay. Those are probably the ones that they're going to be talking about. But again, we don't know. Maybe we'll have aliens from Naglokas here. So the thing is, that's what Rahu is. Rahu is also expansion. It expands something. And it can explode something, meaning exponentially. Like Jupiter's expansion. So think of Jupiter as a balloon. You're blowing up a balloon and it's going bigger, 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 bigger. Rahu is like, boom. There, you have it. This is why it's like a explosion. It happens in an instant. Okay, so especially when we look at big wealth. Expansion, sudden expansion of wealth. For example, somebody bought Bitcoins in 2010 for literally $100. It may have been worth like almost $100 million back in 2020, 2021. Who knows? So this is the huge expansion that Rahu brings. So now it's moving towards sun. Okay. And sun is naturally your significance of your health, your reputation, your paternal lineage, your honor. Sun is known as the king, the giver of fame. Okay. And especially sun is heart. So when Rahu goes towards sun, you will see naturally a person will suddenly desire to become expanded in front of people. They'll be like, how do I now kind of get notoriety? They will get opportunities now to be known, whether it's in their community. Not everybody with sun in the sign of Pisces suddenly becomes world famous, although now it's actually very, very possible. You can go viral on TikTok, you can go viral on YouTube or Instagram, right? So now actually we shouldn't even say like, yeah, it can actually happen. But also at the same time, this Rahu over Sun shows that father will take some kind of a foreign trip. Father, especially if its Sun is in Pisces, father, because Sun is also the father, father may suddenly gain through an investment that he may have made, because Pisces is investments. But also with Sun going over Rahu, you will see people becoming famous because of their big donations that they make. Because again, Pisces is donations. And then also expenses. Expenses can become enormous. And in some cases, it could be a great thing. In some cases, it could be a stressful thing. Depend upon what you were doing for the past 18 years, or especially for the past 18 months. When Rahu was in Aries, were you taking too many loans? Suddenly getting credit cards, and now it's going to like give that blown up results of those particular activities that you would have done. And then the other thing we also see, especially if a person is single, whenever Rahu goes over Sun, romantic encounters become active. Why is that? Because Sun is the original fifth lord of romance. And especially inside, because Sun is also our soul, right? What does the soul wants? That's the most important thing. Besides being father, authority, fame, this and that, is the soul. So this is not something we know what soul wants. But what Rahu does, it activates the desire of the soul. It activates this unfulfilled accomplishment of the soul. So suddenly you can see that the individual themselves in Pisces may suddenly have this desire to go towards a spiritual life, because soul will not desire anything but which can internalize us, and Pisces is the gateway to that. This is why Pisces is also connected with teaching, because where do you truly learn your spiritual knowledge? It's in the Guru's hermitage, Guru's ashram. So if Sagittarius is the Guru, Pisces is fourth from Sagittarius. Now on the other hand, let's say Rahu is going over Moon. Moon is the mother. Moon is your karmic backlog. Moon represents the balance of your psychological emotions. Moon naturally represents water, movement, travel, food. So Rahu going over Moon, suddenly a person will have great interest in wanting to eat foreign foods. So let's say even if you're a vegetarian, that doesn't mean you're going to start eating meat. But instead of, let's say you're eating your dosa, your idli, your dal, now you want to try some Thai food. You'll suddenly, your body, your mind will be like, okay, how about we have Chinese food today? Let's have Italian food today. Like I have great Italian place. Like I told you, I found my past life family there. So I always get their vegetarian food. It's awesome. The other thing we also see, travel bug. You know, when people say, oh my God, you have a travel bug right now. The travel bug becomes active, especially when Rahu goes over Moon in a water sign. There's this need to travel, need to move yourself. Now, on one hand, this can also be very subjective, because a Moon is also connected with the mind. Rahu can expand things, right? On one end, this can really motivate a person. Like, okay, I need to start thinking big. I've been just always thinking small. I've been thinking like just an employee. It's about time I started thinking like the president and the CEO. So that motivational spark explodes within a person's mind. And depending upon your constitution of your chart, either this can be expansion, or suddenly it can bring fear and anxiety, depending upon what type of a lifestyle you have been living. So it goes both ways. If based on your lifestyle, how's your lifestyle? Is it tamasic, rajasic, Sattvic. Based on that, Rahu is going to give that result. See, Rahu does not care, neither any other planet, that, oh, I'm going over this planet, I have to give bad results. No, even though Rahu is the arch enemy of Sun and Moon, you will see people who may have, let's say, Rahu Sun together, or Rahu Moon, can become excellent public figures. They know how to like control and handle the public. So it's not that concrete, it's not that black and white. It works in the gray stream. So let's say somebody who has been doing substances, somebody who, always thinks of dark thoughts. Well, guess what's happening? It's going to expand that. It's going to explode that. In this particular period, mother will definitely also travel. Want to go foreign places because Pisces is naturally foreign. So any travel that happens is going to be foreign, whether it's by the women in your family, mother, or it's you. Okay. And the other thing with especially Moon, because Moon is the unraveling of our karmas, right? Rahu is also our ambition and goals. And because Moon is the one responsible for dasha system that unlocks chakras with each dasha, so you will see with this particular, when Rahu goes over Moon, whatever dasha you're in, that dasha suddenly start to give its maximum results. You will see any transit of Saturn over Moon or Rahu over Moon. Okay, the dasha that you're in, it's suddenly now activated. Even if, let's say, you're in the last tribhagi of your dasha, the last portion of your Mahadasha, regardless of what Mahadasha is, suddenly you now start getting all whatever the results that are need to be given for that 18 months. And then they'll settle down again after 18 months. Rahu's going over Mercury. Mercury is our maternal aunts and uncles, friends, education, our intelligence, business. So naturally, if Mercury is in Pisces, a person naturally has very abstract intelligence, right? Like Mercury in Pisces, to be honest with you, in my own readings, I have seen more business people, creative people, scientific people with Mercury in Pisces. So don't go on these rigid explanation of debilitation and exaltation. So here, Rahu coming over Mercury, one's intelligence can help someone enormously, because remember, Rahu Ketu represents research. Like Rahu is research in Jyotish, Ketu is research in Nadi. So when Rahu goes over Mercury, you will see many young students or even people in their late 20s and 30s, they will desire to go to foreign lands, or they will get access to foreign lands to attain higher education, whether it's MBA, PhD, or even your regular bachelor's degree. One will also engage in learning of languages. Usually I've seen more with Ketu though. Ketu going over Mercury, languages interest come into play. Also, this becomes a period when many people will suddenly be like, how can I do business? Whether they can do business or not, that's a different thing. Not everybody in Pisces can be successful in business. And not everybody in Pisces will be able to get an MBA. But the thing is, these are the things that become active. One starts getting that ambition, that desire for doing mercurial things. Also, your friend circle expands. Okay? But depending upon what age you're at, this is important. Depending upon what age you're at, either you can make bad friends or very influential friends. For example, let's say you have Jupiter Rahu conjunction in your horoscope between 19 and 27. Okay, if this transit is coming in your timeline while you're between 19-year age and 27-year age, stay away from making any new friends. Any new acquaintances come in, just keep them at bay. Great. Hi, hello, all of that. Because you can be really charmed by those people that may actually deceive you. So these are some of the nuances that we have to understand and know. This is why not everything can be discussed here. Okay. Also, the creative intelligence increases. This person can actually be intuitively getting a lot of things in their intelligence. Now, when Rahu goes over Venus, obviously this can be the time of getting expansion of wealth, money, depending upon if you're in the third round of Jupiter and the second round of Saturn, it can expand your wealth. Suddenly, you will see, if you're single, you will come across this natural expansion of your dating life, especially with people of different culture, ethnic background. Doesn't matter if you're a man or woman, because Venus is naturally love and that companionship. Venus is happiness. So suddenly happiness can explode. One's devotion becomes very strong in the marriage, especially in a man's chart. When Rahu goes over exalted Venus in Pisces, the spouse can become even more devoted to their task. You will see also many people become devoted to Tantra during this time, learning some Tantric Siddhis. You will also find people getting foreign vehicles, not domestic vehicles. They will be more interested in, during this time, if you get a car, it will most likely not be domestic. It will be a foreign manufacturer. So if, let's say, you're in India, you won't be getting a Maruti. You will probably go for a Tesla, BMW, or whatever is out there. That's what you're going to go for. So in this way, this can be enormous time for expansion of wealth, your consciousness, including your access to tantric knowledge. Rahu goes over Mars. So naturally, we see younger brother will be getting a lot of foreign opportunities. Younger brother will become very ambitious. Suddenly, like people who attend motivational counseling and conferences, and they're suddenly like, okay, I'm going to do this. Even if your younger brother is not in that particular mode, they get into that mode. But on the other hand, also the younger brother, may get into making reckless decisions with life, especially with friends, and reckless decision to their habits. But this also depends on the constitution of their birth chart. You will also see with Rahu going over Mars, many young people will be, in this time, going to foreign lands for especially engineering degrees. Getting job offers, especially related to engineering, AI, and not softwares, but mainly related to, but the thing is, it's all marriage and integrated together. So you can say, yeah, it will be related to softwares because you need a hardware for software. Even AI needs hardware. So if, let's say, you were looking to get into an engineering school, wait till Rahu comes in Pisces over Mars. So this is outside of the brother. Okay. Then also with Rahu going over Mars, suddenly you will decide or have great enormous interest in learning some kind of a combat skill, whether it's kickboxing, martial arts, judo, even yoga is seen there. Especially although Mars should be in Uttar Bhadrapada Nakshatra. So you will see that. But again, if I go into nakshatras, this is going to become like a 3-hour long video. Literally, I can take a planet, a nakshatra, and Rahu transit and talk about it for like 20, 30 minutes. So I'm just giving a basic idea here. Rahu goes over Jupiter. You yourself will be going to foreign lands. You will also suddenly have ambitions towards meeting a guru. There's a lot of expansion in life happens, but also expansion of body happens because Jupiter is fat. Rahu is this just uncontrollable expansion. So a lot of eating habits, not with the moon, but more so with Jupiter. Whatever you eat, your metabolism may suddenly start expanding. That means it slows down. Also, Jupiter going over Rahu for those particular 18 months, you can go to the highest rank. See, in Jyotish, it is said that it's known as a Guru Chandal Yoga. But in Nadi, this is actually the yoga that takes a person to the highest rank in their profession. So for these 18 months, you need to really pay attention to the opportunities that come to you. Because here you would be elevated to the highest of rank. Because imagine just Rahu going over Jupiter is kind of like a conjunction for that 18 months. And also you will benefit a lot from foreign people, people of outside of your community, outside of your religion, out of your ethnicity. Okay. But one thing we see is that the desire to know thyself becomes important. This is nothing to do with Tantra. This is nothing to do with, getting siddhis. This is because Jupiter is different than Venus. Here's more so, there's that ambition. A lot of ambition comes in. You become very goal-oriented, but especially to improve oneself. Like even in this time period, more than even Moon, when Rahu goes over Jupiter, one can go to counselors to understand, whether you go to astrologer, psychologist, psychiatrist, career counselor. You're going to want counseling to know, hey, what is it that I need to do and accomplish? So you will see actually during this time period of, you will see when Rahu is over Jupiter, you'll get this is mainly for astrologers, you'll get a lot of people coming to you for a reading when Rahu is going over their Jupiter. And then when Rahu goes over Shani, as in Saturn, naturally foreign opportunities in your career comes in. Either in your life, definitely your life, but also elder siblings' life. And then the other thing also you will see with Rahu going over Saturn, you will attend a lot of conferences, lot of large gatherings. You'll become an activist during this time. You'll actually even become quite politically intense, because Rahu and Saturn's conjunction, whether it's in your birth chart or during transit, activates the sign of Aquarius. It'll naturally activate that sign. And especially in your particular profession, there will be a lot of discoveries that will happen. New things will come in. Like for example, you have a factory, you'll bring some new machine. Not a new devices will come in your work to help you with your work. But also with Saturn or Rahu going over Saturn, you will also see you will engage with a lot of old people. You will come across a lot of older people. You will even donate to a lot of older people, older communities. And actually, in a way, it becomes a remedy as well. When Rahu and Saturn are together, the more you help out old people, the better this particular conjunction does for you. And on the other hand, you will also see with Saturn going over Rahu, a lot of people will find their affinity with Shiva during this time. Because this is the conjunction that known as the Shiva taking in the poison and saving the world. So one of the things you will see a lot of people, especially like, in Indian Hindu community, will be very much becoming devoted to Shiva, becoming devoted to Bhairava, Ashta Bhairava, or like the 60 forms of Bhairava. A lot of that sadhana will take place. Okay, and then also within your career, you will see a lot of people will bring their problems to you. And the more you help them, the better this conjunction will be for you, this temporary 18-month conjunction. Because a lot of people bringing their poisons to be turned into elixirs, into soma. So because of you, you will have to deal with a lot of people who will, whether it's friend circle, professional circles, a lot of people will come to you saying that, I'm going through this. Whether you help them or not, they will discuss these things with you. And when you help them, even if you sit them for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it's going to help you in your profession. Now, when Rahu goes over Rahu, this becomes the setting of your goals and ambitions. A lot of times with Rahu, a lot of people will even sell ancestral properties during this time. Their investments of ancestral property may rise up. This is a period of major transformation in terms of what you're setting up yourself for the next 18 years. Not 18 months, 18 years. This is a time of progressing your ambitions in life. While if Rahu goes over Ketu, this becomes a period that many of people who were atheists towards astrology will suddenly find some beauty in astrology, will suddenly find some evidence in astrology in their life. They will seek guidance of astrology during this time. They will also be pushed towards spiritual sadhanas. A lot of people will break away from one type of a lifestyle to a completely different lifestyle. So if your lifestyle was this way, for example, you must be thinking that I'm going to say this, but guess what? Let's say you're very spiritual. You're doing your sadhana. Here, Rahu can actually challenge that to change you into more of a Rajasic individual. Worldly ambitions suddenly come into play. It's changing that. So these are the tests that a spiritual sadhak goes through transits especially. Like, hey, we're going to try to divert you by giving you some of these worldly things. Do you still want this? So this is where you have to put down your flag of Ketu that no, I'm going to keep my sadhana going. Now, on the other hand, you're partying. You're on social media 24/7. You're looking for clout. Okay. Suddenly now, Rahu's going to try to push you into one of the other three, from tamasic to maybe rajasic and sattvic. And especially you will also, some people, not all the time I've seen this, because mostly all this deal with paternal properties, but maternal properties can come into possession. Maternal lineage property will come into play. A lot of people will suddenly find affinity with Ganesha, with Rahu going over Ketu. A lot of people will become very successful in their research. This is from the Nadi side. So if you were doing some research in PhD, you were working on your thesis, now is within these 18 months, Rahu's going to give you the discovery. Now, like I said, there are many, many things that I'm not discussing, okay, which is more for the individual charts. But in my next video, I will cover Ketu going over other planet. That's something very interesting with Ketu that even I kind of went through. So, yeah, we'll discuss that. So if you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss this type of videos, including my next video. And for my books, reports, consultations, check out the links here, including my course link, where I'm currently teaching the Nandi Nadi course, including all the other courses you will find. Okay, talk to you later. Bye-bye.